Safa has a problem. She thinks she's the only rich girl in the world.
But she's not. Safa, the way she behaves, she forgets that she's sitting with people who actually don't need anything in their life, and also they're well off.
You called me a bitch. You called me a bitch.
What does he mean, bitch?
Yes.
Raheem.
What does he mean?
Raheem, if he hit the first punch, I would hit the last.
By the time I was done with this episode of Dubai Blings, I was short of words. I just did not know what to say. I just did not know where to begin from. But my mind was working at the speed of light. There was a lot going through my mind. I had a lot of questions, as usual, which is one thing I love about the show. The show gives you a lot to think about. It gives you a lot to want to talk about, guys, which is why we do these type of reviews and analysis that I do on my channel. But going back to the show now, guys, one of those things I was thinking about was how exactly did Danya and Bliss meet each other? Because you see these people, they are made for each other. They are so, guys, they are perfect for each other. Because this couple, they are so conniving. Guys, ah, my God. They are so conniving. They are so petty. Oh my God. And you know what's funny? During season 1, I used to think that, oh my God, Bliss is the absolute unproblematic cast member. I used to think that, nah, this guy is very, very problem-free, easily distracted, just wants to focus on his DJ thing and just live his life. He's that one person that does not just want problem at all. But this dude is really working harder than the devil at his instigation game, because this guy, oh my God, is quite the instigator. And then there is also Ebraheem. Guys, 1 minute. Ebraheem is showing you the extremity of his vulnerability, right? You're seeing him at his lowest. You're seeing the emotional side of Ebraheem, and you are loving him. As a matter of fact, your cup is running over with so much love and affection for this young man.
Just going through photos of my birthday.
But then the next minute, you're seeing the vicious, the petty side of Ebraheem.
Okay, so we want to do something about it?
Oh, there's Raheem.
Hannah, please come. Hannah, come with me, please.
Guys, it's like two extreme versions of this young man, two extreme V's for versions of this young man. And you're just like, guys, you're just exhausted. You don't even know how to feel anymore, which goes back to what I said on my previous review, that this show, the cast members, all of them, they just tend to just play with your emotions. See, at this point here, the only scene on this particular episode that just sort of gave me peace, like inner peace, was Zeina and Safa's reconciliation. And so we're going to get into this episode. We're going to talk about every single thing that happened, all right? So please make sure you watch to the end. Do not skip out on any part. There's a lot to talk about. And of course, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. And I noticed that a lot of you are getting into the show. I'm super excited about it. Yes, I mean, I'm glad that a lot of you are watching the show with me. So yeah, go ahead, share your thoughts in the comment section below. And guys, another quick reminder, on Saturday I'm going to be reviewing the last 2 episodes. That's episode 7 and episode 8. I'm trying to round off this entire season on Saturday, all right, because BB and Zamzi commences next week Sunday, so just trying to lay the ground, you know, for another show, all right? So please make it a date with us on Saturday. Do not miss out. There's a lot to talk about. And officially, you are all specially welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Gloria Elijah. This is Frankly Speaking with Gloria Elijah, and I am the girl with the T. Guys, I'm almost going blind here right now because of my hair. Yes, you are all welcome. For those of you that are returning viewers and subscribers, thank you all so much for choosing to come back to do this with me. You all are the realest OGs. For those of you that are new and this is your first time here, you're especially welcome. If you are yet to become a part of this community officially, please do not hesitate to do exactly what you see on your screen. All right, go ahead, subscribe by hitting the red subscribe button, and also turn on your post notification bell to always receive alerts for my videos whenever I upload a new one. All right, in case you're wondering what we do on here, this is where we give the most detailed, factual and accurate analysis of reality TV shows, movies, and trending social topics. All right, now all of that said, let's just quickly proceed with the details of the episode 5 of Dubai Bling's season 2. Now, the beginning of this episode was the continuation of LJ's all-white peace party. Now, things had gotten out of hand. Danya was saying a lot. Bliss had even joined in to back her up, calling Safa a liar. They were calling her fake, saying all manner of things. And Safa was just, calmly enjoying the whole drama. And LJ was so pissed. She was so pissed that this whole idea of peace and reconciliation and settlement, had just completely gone down the drain. And so she ended the party. She asked everybody to leave, that she herself was also leaving because there was no point in anybody staying anymore.
Shame on you guys!
You're looking silly right now.
Very silly. You look like a joke. This is the silliest conversation I've ever heard. I will not be friends with people like that. Doctor, don't look at us, Elder. She started. Don't look at us.
And it was quite interesting, to hear the way Danya was saying that, oh, LJ should say all of that to Safa, that Safa started it. And I'm like, Danya, you seem to have a thing for constantly developing selective amnesia every time you bring drama to the table. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we're not blind. We saw that Safa was clearly having an altercation with Farhanna, but then Ebraheem decided to stir things up and Danya decided to flare up because Safa was obviously not willing to have that conversation with Danya, but you could tell that Danya had been spoiling for a fight. She had been looking forward to that moment and then she capitalized on it. And Ebraheem, that edged her on, to do whatever she was doing, was right there chilling and just watching everything unfold. And so everybody left. And I also loved the fact that even though Bliss had made reference, to Chris when he had made mention of the fact that, oh, he actually did not need Fahad's money, that he just wanted to set a trap for a certain person. I loved the way Brianna had actually signaled her husband, Chris, to keep his cool. And he had did just that, or rather he had done just that. And so everybody had gone their separate ways, but Bliss and Danya, they were so riled up, they had gone outside the venue and immediately Bliss had put a call through to Fahad. He said he never asked Fahad for money, so he wanted to clear the air because he knew it was going to definitely affect their relationship. So he had called Fahad and he said, oh, your wife, she just came, she was doing X, Y, Z. Oh, did you tell your wife I asked you for money? And Fahad was like, well, I'm not there. I don't even know what's happening. And so I just said, did you ask you for money specifically? And Fahad was like, well, you did not ask for money specifically. You put me in a tight spot and I said no, So guys, that also made me wonder. Because if you think back at how that conversation even started, I think that was in episode 2. They were talking about getting a push gift for Safa when the men had met at the beach to play. And Fahad had mentioned that a friend had suggested that he got Safa a yacht. And it became a playful conversation. The men were just throwing in suggestions, here and there. It was just a fun-filled conversation. And Bliss was sulking. And that was when he had actually made that sarcastic comment like, oh, Fahad, it seems you have a lot of money to throw around. I need a sponsor for my concert that's coming up. And that wasn't the first time he had brought up that conversation. So ladies and gentlemen, coming from such an angle, what would you think was the type of sponsorship that Bliss was actually seeking from Fahad? One would obviously think that it was actually money. Yes, he wasn't very specific about it, but the sort of sponsorship he needed from Chris, he had been a bit specific about it. He needed Chris to use his craft, to publicize to his community about the concert, right? So guys, anybody can just put 2 and 2 together and conclude that, okay, fine, you need publicity from Chris, then obviously you need financial support from Fahad, you know. So him making that call to Fahad, I just felt like, dude, please pick what's left of your dignity. Just pack it up with your wife that has selective amnesia. Just pack it up and just go home, because you guys are just making yourself look funny right now. Now, this next scene really increased my love and respect for Mona. Now, I already mentioned to all of you about how much I admire her passion, you know, for a business, for a project, for her quest for independence, you know, trying to gain her own independence, trying to establish her own identity away from her family business, away from the partnership that she's got with her sister, Huda. Yes. And so with this particular scene and several others, guys, it just revealed that, okay, this woman indeed is very, very smart. She's trying to bring everybody together, unite everybody, also to position everybody in a space where they can all support one another and also help her achieve her goal of making a name for herself. And guys, I felt like that was just really, really smart. And so for this next scene, she has set up a lunch date for herself, her mother, and okay, her parents, and then there was also Chris and Brianna, the couple, and then there was also Zeina and her husband and Nan. And you see, guys, this is another smart thing she's doing. You know, for different scenes on this episode, she was actually meeting with the different pairs of the group, you know, just to mingle with all of them and see which one had issues, and then to also see how she can help the warring parties, you know, to make peace. And so it was a very beautiful lunch meeting. They had conversations about the baby fever that each couples were, you know, experiencing. They also shared a bit about the drama that actually happened at LJ's all-white peace party. Zeina was quite shocked. She was quite shocked that Safa had actually attended. And in a way, you could sense that she was kind of impressed that Safa had gone to fight, you know, for their friendship. And I feel like that also contributed to softening her heart, you know, a bit, and also helping her to heal faster, you know, from what she perceived as a betrayal of their friendship from Safa. Now, from their conversation, Mona could see that Zeina obviously really missed Safa, and so she decided to do something about it. Yes, she decided to take that extra step, make the extra push, you know, to bring these two people together to have their reconciliation conversation. And it really happened. But before we get to that part, there was something she did that I found quite impressive. So it was Ebraheem's wedding, very beautiful setup. Everything was simply amazing. Guys, I absolutely loved the decor. I just loved the setting of everything. It was really regal, yes. And the ladies had been invited, they had gathered. Chris and Brianna were not invited, yes, courtesy of Danya and her husband, Bliss, yes. But anyways, there were conversations about what had happened, you know, at LJ's event. Lojay, as usual, you know, sat herself like the queen mother. You know, I was trying to make it seem like, oh, well, it's good that she wasn't there, blah, blah, blah. She just had a lot to say. But aside that, LJ also had a lot to say. You know, she was going on and on about, oh, Safa is acting like she is the only rich girl in the world. There are other people that are rich as well. Farhanna too had a lot to say. Oh no, she's not even the wealthiest girl in the world.
Safa has a problem. She thinks she's the only rich girl in the world, but she's not. Safa, the way she behaves, she forgets that she's sitting with people who actually don't need anything in their life, and also they're well off.
But I loved the way Mona shut down the conversation.
To be honest, none of us should be talking about Millionaires. Honestly, yes. Not go there.
Yes.
You're Ebraheem's wedding. He's your bestie.
Yes.
We all need to have a good time. Like,
Exactly.
Enough. What's done is done.
She reminded them that, listen, we are at Ebraheem's event. Let's have fun. It's all about Ebraheem today. Let's focus on Ebraheem and let's have fun. Guys, at that point in time, she really scored a huge point on my scorecard for these cast members, because I'm like, that's how to do it. That is how to do it. Because these women, guys, none of these women are perfect. I hope we're aware. None of them is perfect. They just enjoy yapping and yapping and yapping and yapping each other, yes, making it look like, oh, I'm the saint, this other one is actually the villain. But I just totally loved the way Mona was able to control that situation, and as if it dawned on her that she would have been the one to have called everyone to order, Lojay picked up immediately and like, oh yes, it's about Ebraheem. let's enjoy the party. Let's have fun. Not just say we should have fun. Let's actually have fun. I'm like, whatever. Still on Mona and her mission to reconcile Safa and Zeina, she decided to practicalize the saying that goes that if Mohammed does not go to the mountain will surely go to Mohammed. And so she had driven to Zeina's house with a fancy holiday bus. I hope that's what it's called, with a bus. And she intended to surprise Zeina by driving her straight to Safa's house to drop her off so that they will go and make peace.
Taking you somewhere special.
Oh, really? What are we going?
Tell you in a little bit.
Okay.
Tonight, I'm going to surprise Zeina. I'm going to drop her off at Safa's house. They need to be reunited.
So initially, Zeina was not aware, but then she caught on to Mona's plans, and I was kind of scared that, oh my God, Zeina can be a bit uptight sometimes. Is she going to be offended? But surprisingly, she wasn't offended. As a matter of fact, she was actually pleased, and she even went ahead to even thank Mona for the gesture, for even taking the initiative, you know, to give that extra push to her reconciliation with her bestie. And guys, for real, I literally heaved a sigh of relief because I was panicking. I was scared. I'm like, oh my God, Zeina is such a private person. She does not like people being in her business, especially not in this business of hers. And Safa, you know, but she actually appreciated, you know, the gesture. And yeah, Mona dropped her off at Safa's front door. And oh my God, the reunion, or should I say the reconciliation, was so emotional. Yes.
I was surprised, but I was so happy to see her at the door.
Safa had opened the door, and it was like two lovers that had, you know, parted ways in just how many hours, you know, seeing each other again. It was so emotional, and I was so happy that they reconciled. You know, there was a lot of I miss yous. Oh my God, I was lonely, I was alone, blah, blah, blah. You know how besties reconcile.
I'm happy you fought for our friendship.
You know I love you, right? And you're more than a friend to me. You're my sister. It was a nice conversation, and honestly, it just felt good. I missed her.
And they made peace, they made up. Safa, of course, was really sad. Fahad had traveled to India, as he had mentioned, and it seemed like he was going to be away for probably up to a month, you know, so she was already sad and lonely, and the fact that she did not have her best friend, you know, on talking terms with her. So they made peace, they reconciled, and they were so excited. Safa was talking about they should make a grand entry or appearance or announcement to the other haters to know that yes, is it Farha, Maha are back. Ladies and gentlemen, please, what is the meaning of this Farha, Maha? It's like the yin to my yang thing. That's the idea I have in my head, but I would love to know what it means. So if you have an idea, let me know in the comment section below. So yeah, they reconciled, and just like, you know, Safa wanted, they actually gave a grand entrance to Mona's event, and trust the haters to be very, very upset, you know, that they were back and they were making a public show of it.
We're always on time, but this time I'm coming late because I'm going to make an entrance with Farhanna.
Now, that was Mona's event, which was like the final scene. Before we get there, let's take one or two steps back. There were one or two things that happened. So first, let's just take one or two steps back to those scenes, talk about them, and we're going to talk about the final scene and the drama, the showdown that happened. Now, the third scene of this episode, which we actually skipped, was about Ebraheem spending time with his mom. Remember, he was preparing for his wedding, which was, I think, the final stage of him finally getting married. So he was spending time with his mom, you know, speaking about the past, growing up as a child, as a teenager, and then he opened up about his struggles. Apparently, he had been bullied in school. He had been bullied for wearing clothes that are not meant for men, you know, and it was quite emotional. It made me sad, to be frank with you. As I said at the start of this video, that's the thing about Ebraheem. Ebraheem's got very, very extreme personalities. You know, 1 minute he's extremely vulnerable and the next minute he's extremely vicious. Yes, it's like if this guy wants to be good, he's good. If he wants to be horrible, he's the extremity of being horrible, right? I hope I put that the right way. And him sharing about his struggles, you know, his bullying experience, it made me realize that that this actually explains the reason he's very protective of Danya, especially, and in a way, Farhanna. Yes, if you all recall in season 1, when Safa and Zeina were just making ugly jokes about Farhanna's borrowing, or should I say renting of things, and always wanting to be at every single social event and whatnot. Brian did not find it funny, but he had been very petty about it by immediately leaving that dinner table to go and inform Farhanna. Yes, and so it makes you see an individual that has actually experienced bullying, and instead of just being a fighter against bullying, is also in his own way becoming a bully himself. Yes, and guys, it just did not really make sense to me, but frankly speaking, it sort of gave me more clarity as to why Ebraheem is that petty, you know, why he does the things he does, and why sometimes it's like he's got no filter, he's got no control over his actions or even reactions sometimes to certain situations. Yeah, so it was a very, very, you know, emotional scene between him and his mother, and I just love the way his mom always knows how, you know, to assure him, encourage him, you know, and to just tell him the things that he wants to hear. But for real, Ebraheem definitely has a lot of growing up to do, because that guy just like the mother rightly put it, he's like a child in a man's body. There was also the scene of Safa terrorizing her husband, Fahad.
Can't believe you're going.
Where I work, baby?
It's just, there's too much. Every time you have to go to India, you go to India and you leave me for months and I have the small babies.
You want to move to India? You want to come with me?
No, I already told you this is out of discussion. I don't know why you keep pushing me to move there. You're just pushing me to go there. I don't want to go there.
Now, one thing I love about this couple is how Fahad just completely gets his wife. Guys, see, in a marriage situationship, I mean, I'm not married, but hey, this is what I would love, you know, if and when I get married. There's nothing as sweet as having a spouse that just understands your excesses and knows how to just baby you. I know that that sounds a bit selfish, but guys, come on, I just love it. Which woman would not love to be babied, you know, when she wants to be babied? I mean, guys, Fahad just gets his wife. He knows that he married a very, very crazy, sometimes erratic, demanding woman, but he just knows how to handle her. And guys, I find it really sweet. And even though sometimes Safa can be very, very sharp-mouthed, very, very excessive, I just love how, you know, both of them just understand each other perfectly. Yeah, so Fahad was packing up his bags, you know, to leave for India, and Safa was sulking, you know. She doesn't like it when he travels. According to her, she's always lonely, and now she has 2 babies, she's going to be alone. And the man was like, okay, fine, do you want to relocate with me? She's like, whoa, for why, you know? So she wouldn't want to relocate to India because it's gonna sort of tamper with the stability of the kids' lives, and so she wouldn't want to do that. But anyways, it got all emotional, you know, and then she was also worried that she's going to be alone because she's still not on good terms with her friend Zeina. Fahad is trying to, you know, assure her that, listen, she just still needs time. And Safa is like, she doesn't like time, I'm like, girl, you will not get everything you want every time. Get used to it. Yeah, get used to it. But then there was also the part where she started whining about wanting to do her mommy makeover.
I'm going to do my surgery while you're gone.
The things which I said no to means no. There is no 2 ways around it.
And guys, I was looking at Safa like this and I was asking myself, mommy makeover what? Like how? Guys, look at Safa. Safa's got one of the most beautiful bodies for a woman that's got 2 babies. She's got, what does she want to do? Tummy tuck? Tummy tuck where? What? How? Her belly looks flat. It is flat. It doesn't just look flat. It is flat. Or she wants to add bum bum, or she wants to do BBL. What exactly? How? I thought maybe mommy makeovers is to do maybe breast lifting, tummy. Guys, I don't know. What are your thoughts about that? Because I just felt like, nah, she probably just wants to give him a bit of some nagging before he travels. You know, some men likes that anyways. Yeah, but I just love the way Fahad had to sternly tell her that, listen, there are certain things I say no to, and that is how it stands. No, you're not going to do that. And that is it. I said, yes, yes. Even though your husband is very playful, sometimes you need to open your ears and listen to your husband. That was also the scene where LJ and Lojay had visited Mona and the husband's house. Now, the usual conversation about, baby fever, tell me your experience about how you got pregnant, blah, blah, blah. It happened, yes. But my focus for that episode first was how Lojay described that group. According to her, she said that is the group that she feels closest to. Mona, her husband, and LJ. And guys, frankly speaking, I was once again confused about Lojay's personality. This is the woman that in season 1 gave the impression that she was close to Zeina, she was close to who is that person? Is it Chris or Haman? And then in this season, she has carried some people on a trip to Saudi Arabia. She said those are people she's close to. And then she has been with LJ. She says she feels very close to LJ. And now here's another group, Mona, that's newly joining the group. She's closest to them. Guys, at this point, it's giving multi-personality disorder. Yeah. It's just giving villainous, deviousness at this point. It's just giving a lot of things. And see, every time with every episode, Lojay just continuously validates all of my observations and speculations about her. That's just what I'm going to say. But I also listened to her story that she shared, and it kind of really touched me. Guys, it was wild to learn that Lojay actually had a first child at 17. And then she had her son, that's her daughter at 17, and she had a son at 19. And then in another conversation, she had mentioned that she actually asked for divorce from her first husband at the age of 18. Things had actually gone south. Families were involved. It was very, very crazy. And then she had to give up custody of her kids temporarily. Since then, I remember in season 1 she actually mentioned it, that her kids were taken from her. She doesn't have her kids. And then she also revealed that she had been married 3 times. This third marriage is the one that she just married, that she announced in I think in the previous season, rather episode 4. And then in all the weddings that she had done, she had never worn a white gown. And guys, frankly speaking, that was really sad, because if there's one thing I know about my gender, it's how much we cherish our wedding day. So imagine getting married 3 times and you did not get to wear a wedding gown. Really sad. Really sad. But anyways, there was also the scene where Danya had set up a post-wedding lunch celebration for Ebraheem and his wife, and then had invited many of their friends. And guys, at that moment, LJ's reaction and her expression was exactly how I was feeling.
Can I just say I've had enough celebrating Ebraheem? I mean, we went to Alaula, we went to the wedding, and now we're here at this lunch. Anything else?
LJ was over it. For her, how many times did they have to celebrate Ebraheem? Like, she was done, she was over it. Like, what's next? They had gone to Saudi Arabia, I think it's allowed her, you know, to do a pre-wedding celebration. And then they had the wedding, and then they had now they're having this one again. And guys, if I can recall correctly, there was also another event again. I'm like, it's a lot. It's a lot. Guys, even me, I was over it. I was over it. Like, come on. It's a lot. How many times you have to celebrate somebody? It's plenty. But then I just don't understand why she didn't say anything about it. You know, she just had this stiff smile on her face. But another thing that was quite interesting was how Danya had now used that opportunity to announce her business partnership with Ebraheem. And then it made me wonder, like, okay, fine. I thought you were supposed to be celebrating Ebraheem and his wife. How come you are now using it to also, announce people's partnership. And you see, that's the thing about these cast members. They will come and say, oh, they want to celebrate something. And then other people will come, they'll come and use it to come and announce their own thing. And guys, sometimes it gets really exhausting for me. But anyways, the pass I could give to Danya is that, okay, that particular announcement also sort of involved Ebraheem. And Bliss also used that opportunity to give them his blessing. But then we also got to learn that Danya was cooking up another business venture.
Now, I'm going to tell you a secret. I'm working on another business. Bliss has no idea. I don't know how he's going to react. I'm just really nervous about what he's going to say.
And she had not yet informed Bliss, her husband. And she was already wondering how he was going to feel when he learns about it. And I'm like, you people are just made for each other, both of you. What happened to communication? Why not just talk about it? Because already the man has finally accepted this business partnership with Ebraheem. He's giving his blessings, and according to him, the agreement now is, oh, as long as she does what she needs to do at home, she's free to do whatever she wants to do with her business. And now she has not even started this one, Bestie's Cafe. She's cooking up another business. Guys, see ya. I cannot wait to see how that one pans out. Finally, it was the D-Day of Mona's event. Beautiful, beautiful event. Everything was given. The aesthetics was beautiful. But can there ever be a Dubai Bling event without some drama? Absolutely not. Guys, there was drama. Yes. So first, it started with Zeina and Safa's grand entrance.
It was as if I saw Raya and Sakina.
Welcome, guys.
Oh, they thought they could break us, did they? Guess again.
Which came as a shock to the haters. Like, guys, they were calling themselves the Farhanna. They even carried their own, Farhanna purses. It was so funny. I'm not gonna lie, it was so funny. But on this side, I was literally cheering them on. I was just enjoying the crazy vibes they were giving. They were so happy, they were so excited, and people were actually genuinely happy that they were back together, with the exception, of course, of the likes of Danya and Farhanna. But surprisingly, even Ebraheem too was also happy. Everybody was just happy for them. And Mona now decided to rub it in. She gave a toast, to her business, to everybody coming together to celebrate her. And then she also toasted to the reconciliation of Zeina and Safa. That was where Farhanna and Danya almost entered the floor. Danya could not allow bitterness to let her raise up her glass. She was so pissed. As Safa saw it, Safa was laughing. Oh my God, it was insane. It was insane. But then something, surprising happened. Lojay apologized publicly to Zeina. Like, she apologized in the presence of everybody. She apologized for letting the cat out of the bag the way she did, and then she promised to never do it again, although she cannot say much for her mouth, because everybody's aware that sometimes she just says things out of pocket, and Zeina was so she was so moved. She really appreciated the public apology, and then she turned to Farhanna, do you want to say something? And guys, it was Farhanna's audacity for me. This woman decided to try to play reverse psychology with Zeina.
It was never our intention ever to do this. I thought we were going to laugh about it, that then you calm down. You wouldn't storm out like that. So please, next time, no storming out, okay?
Don't do stuff like that.
Now, instead of her to own up to also being a party to what Lojay did, right? She was coming from the angle of, oh, I thought we were all going to laugh over it. We were all supposed to laugh over it even. But then you angrily stomped off. Next time, don't stomp off. It's not good. I'm like, wow. You see, that kind of reverse psychology and gaslighting can work with people that are not smart, but definitely not Zeina, because Zeina caught on to it. Zeina said, no, just say you're not going to do it again. And they used laughter to cover it. I said, you people are crazy on this show for real, guys. Because for real, I was just really pissed at the way Farhanna put it, because everybody that was not there would think that Zeina is just unnecessarily angry, like she's just an angry person. Danya, of course, had a lot to say during her confessionals. You know, she was not happy that they came together like that. In fact, she even gave them one funny name. She was just bitter about it. Now, the event was popping. Everybody was having fun. You know, the party was in full swings. But then Safa was very worried. She was very bothered. So it turns out that she's got this tracking device installed on Fahad's phones. Yeah, so anywhere he goes, anywhere he travels to, she's got his location. But at that point in time, she just could not seem to locate him. She could not track him. You know, she was constantly checking and checking and checking, but she had simply lost him. According to her, he's always in Mumbai, but now he's literally out of Mumbai, you know. So she was really worried. And then there was this hospitality industry guy, I can't remember his name. Then there was also Zeina, and they were trying to, you know, assure her that nothing was wrong, that there's a possibility that this man is expanding his business to out of Mumbai, so she should stop fretting. But ladies and gentlemen, Safa did the utmost as Safa would normally do. In other words, Safa did what Safa knows how to do best.
2:20 tomorrow. I booked my tickets. Zeina's visa's ready. My visa's already ready. I'm going to Mumbai.
Guys, Safa instantly booked a flight for both herself and Zeina to Mumbai for the very next day afternoon. According to her, they're going to Mumbai to look for a husband. Guys, it was so funny. It was so funny. She said ever since she, you know, birthed their second baby, she's been sort of insecure. She feels like she's not good enough. Like, it's not like she thinks her husband is cheating, but it's the idea of not knowing everything, because she wants to know everything. Hence the reason she installed the tracking device on his phones, right? So for her, she doesn't have postpartum depression. She's got postpartum obsession, because now she literally wants to know his every move. Now, guys, I found it funny, but at the same time, I found it weird, because I, for one, I would not want anybody to install a tracking device on my phone. And I completely agree with what that man said, that it's not healthy for a relationship to have a tracking device on your partner's phone. So, okay, maybe security-wise, it makes a lot of sense, but why would you want to do that to yourself? Like, you are the one that's going to be suffering health-wise, because you're always going to be panicking. Because it's you that will be restless. The other person will just be living their life and doing whatever they want to do. Anyways, fast forward to the drama of this episode. If you all recall, back during Danya's little lunch event that she had put together to celebrate Ebraheem and his wife's wedding, Bliss had called aside Ebraheem and Danya, you know, with this crazy idea. Now, he had said that, oh, since it's now obvious that Safa is the problem of the group, that he wants Ebraheem and Danya to make peace with the right people. In other words, because guys, if you think about it, this guy is saying something without saying it. In other words, they should isolate Safa, make peace with Zeina, and trying to bring Zeina to their side. Now, at that time, these people did not know that Zeina and Safa were actually going to make peace. In their minds, oh, they are done, yes. So Bliss came up with that ridiculous idea. But Ebraheem had said that he was in for any sort of conversation, but he was not going to be the person to initiate it. He wasn't going to apologize for anything. It wasn't going to do anything, you know, that would go against his dignity. So at Mona's event, Bliss had called aside Zeina. He had sort of deceived her that he wanted them to have a conversation outside, whilst he had already told Ebraheem to wait for them outside. Ebraheem was waiting. And when Zeina got there, Zeina saw Ebraheem, you know, she just had to, you know, with class, oblige. So they sat down. She asked Ebraheem if he had anything to say, and this guy was all defensive. This guy was not taking any blames. He was not remorseful at all. In fact, he started so egoistically and arrogantly, and trust Zeina to see through him. She caught on to all of those things. Even Ebraheem was already, you know, calling Zeina arrogant in his confessional, but the conversation did not go well. Because as I said, Ebraheem was not seeing the wrong in anything he did. He was not taking the blame for anything. And guys, everything Zeina said was actually true.
I accepted your apology. The moment you stepped off the stage, I went there and I hugged you. And I had tears in my eyes because it was something that was really bothering me. I let you shake my husband's hand. You sat down, you started retracting. You started saying different things.
In season 1, Ebraheem had given a public apology. He had done this public show, you know, apologizing to Zeina, even shed a tear or two. Zeina had accepted the apology, crying, and even made Ebraheem and her husband to make peace as well. Because of course her husband will always take her side. But according to Zeina, the moment they were done with the so-called reconciliation, the moment they sat down, Ebraheem had started saying something entirely different again. And guys, let's not forget all the social media backlash, all the demeaning things, the derogatory things that Ebraheem had been saying about Zeina and Safa on social media, calling Zeina names, calling her a big elephant, a big giant, calling Safa tiny, whatever. He's been coming for these two people on social media. And so it goes to tell you that his apology was not even genuine. And that was exactly what Zeina was saying. But once again, Ebraheem was not budging. He was not seeing anything wrong in anything he did. Instead, he now brought in Danya's name. That, Danya was a victim, blah, blah, blah. Guys, Ebraheem saw that he had no case. He was the one that obviously really, took things to the extreme with Zeina, coupled with Danya, who tagged along as a loyal friend. And then Zeina reminded him, dude, you called me a bitch. And then Ebraheem maxed out. So what are you going to do? So what's the mean, bitch? I say, ha. Guys, one thing that happened that really, really got me applauding Zeina's husband was when he saw that she was in the midst of these two men that were not trustworthy, he had immediately stood up from his seat. And like a protective husband that he is, he had gone to stand somewhere to be monitoring like a hawk everything that was happening outside. Safa too had noticed, and she too was on standby. So by the time he saw that Ebraheem was getting all heated and everything, the man had gone outside to go and defend his wife.
He doesn't know what it means. Now this boy is pissing me off. He was clearly not ready to apologize.
I needed to do something.
Okay, so you want to do something about it? What?
There's Ibrahim.
Hannah, please come.
And it almost resulted in a fight. Because it was guys, he literally told his wife they should leave because this boy is obviously not ready to apologize. This boy is still maintaining his stand, so there's no point of this conversation. And Ebraheem too was like, he's going to defend himself, like he wants to fight. I'm like, ladies and gentlemen, for the 100th time, Ebraheem is still a child. Forget the fact that he's married. Marriage does not make a boy a man. I'm sorry, maybe biologically, but hey, if you're not fully mentally developed and let's say emotionally intelligent and even sensitive to how you treat people around you, I'm sorry, you're still a baby. You're still a baby. But anyways, guys, I'm going to stop talking here right now. I would love to hear from all of you, your thoughts about this particular episode of Dubai Blings. So please go ahead and share, and I will see you guys on another video soon. Have an amazing day. Bye.